Hello and welcome back. This is another sixth grade math video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the opposites of rational numbers. Okay, so if you've seen some of my previous videos on rational numbers, you know that rational numbers are positive and negative, decimals, and fractions. I've also done a previous video on opposites of integers. So this kind of puts those two things together when we talk about opposites of rational numbers. So it's kind of the same rule as opposites of integers. If you'll recall, the opposite of an integer is the same distance from zero, but on the opposite side of zero on the number line. So for example, if this is my number line for this one, I've got negative 2.8. So that'd be like 1, 2, 3. Let's say that's negative 3. Negative 2.8 would be somewhere around here. Now I'm looking for the number that is the same distance away from zero, but on the other side. So I need it to be 2.8 units away from zero, but on the positive side. So I'm going to go 1, 2, make this positive 3, and then put it right here, maybe for positive 2.8. So that means the opposite of negative 2.8 is positive 2.8 because it's the same distance from zero, but on the other side of zero on the number line. So the shortcut for all this is just to change the sign of the rational number you're given. If you're looking for the opposite of negative 2.8, just change it to positive 2.8. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to look at what is the opposite of 2.3. So let's go ahead and use the shortcut first, and then we'll use the number line to check it. So the shortcut would tell me that that is a positive 2.8, and the opposite would be a negative. So I'm going to go ahead and write negative 2.3 as my answer. But let's use a number line just to double check. So I've got my number line here. I've got my 0 in the middle, and positive 2.3, let's say that's 3, would be somewhere around here. Now I need something that's on the other side of 0 on the number line, but the same distance away. This is 0.3 and then another 2. So I need to go 2 and another 0.3, which would land me somewhere around here. Let's put those marks at -1, -2, -3. So that would land me somewhere around here. So that would be negative 2.3. Okay, here is our next one. It's going to be what is the opposite of 11? But that's not really a rational number because that's more of an integer or a whole number. So I'm going to turn it into a rational number by saying what is the opposite of 0.11 or 0.11? So the shortcut would just tell me just to change the sign. If this is positive 0.11, the opposite would be negative 0.11. So if you wanted to draw a number line, you could. If you prefer that method, put a 0 right here. Go ahead and graph your original number, which is 0.11, which means if this is 1, 0.11 is like somewhere over here. But now I need the same distance away from 0, which is just this 0.11, but on the other side. So I need to go 0.11 backwards here, which means that would be somewhere around here, negative 0.11. Okay, here's our next one. What is the opposite of negative 13? Again, I'm going to change that to a rational number by putting a decimal in it. So I'm going to make it negative 1.3. So we're looking for the opposite of that. Now, if I want to use a number line, I can go ahead and draw one real quick, put a 0 in the middle, and graph negative 1.3. So let's say that's 1 and that's negative 2. Negative 1.3 would be somewhere around here. And that is 1.3 units away from 0. So I need it to be 1.3 units away from 0, but on the other side. So let's say this is positive 2. So I'd go 1 and another 0.3, which would put me somewhere around here. And that would be positive 1.3. Again, the shortcut would be just change the sign from negative 1.3 to positive 1.3. Okay, here is our last one for today's video. What is the opposite of 0.8? So again, if we use the shortcut, we know we would just change the sign. If that's a positive 0.8, we're going to go ahead and put a minus in front of it and make it negative 0.8. If you like to use the number line, I'm going to go ahead and put 0 here, positive 1 here, and negative 1 here. It looks like we started with positive 0.8, so that would be somewhere around here. And it was 0.8 units away from 0. So now I need to go 0.8 units into the negative side and put the number there. That's going to be negative 0.8. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you in another video soon.